Hi all, welcome to Jen's Creation Station. I got my February 2012 issue of Scrapbooks Etc. last week, and on the cover was this adorable owl card. I looked through the magazine, and here is the uncluttered version inside the magazine, and I decided to try to make this card. Of course, I didn't have the same supplies they did as usual, so I'll show you the card I came up with, which is this. This is my test run, so there's no extra inking, etc., but on the card I make during the video I'm going to do some extra inking. I'm also going to change the way this is. I'm not real crazy about that. But let me show you what I used for supplies to make this card. Okay, I used real red for my card base, which is 5.5 by 8.5. Folded in half gives you an A2 card. And then I used crumb cake, or you could use Michael's Craft cardstock. This tan is 3.5 by 4.5, and I've used a 1/2 inch corner rounder. And then the red for the owl is 2 1/4 by 2 3/4. And then the pink for the wings is the scallop circle punch, and that's in pink pirouette. This I believe is pumpkin pie. Any orange cardstock will work. That's a 1/2 inch square. And then this is their large oval punch from Stampin' Up. This is in Bashful Blue. Any light blue will work, of course. You'll also need 2 3/4 inch blue circles, 2 1/2 inch white circles, and 2 1/4 inch black circles. And then I just took a scrap of cardstock in black and cut a scallop border. This one happens to be the scallop border punch from Stampin' Up. Any scallop border will work for his feet. And then for the verse, I'm going to make it a little bit different. I printed mine out, I don't know if you can see this, on white. And this is 3/4 inch, and I used a 16-point font. And then I'm going to back it with the pink, and this is 7/8 inch. And I cut these just a bit wider than this tan matte, so that when I angle it, I'll have enough cardstock. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing you'll need to do is round your corners. Like I said earlier, I used a 1/2 inch corner rounder on this. And I'm going to attach everything to this tan before I attach it to the card. That way I can trim my sentiment. I forgot to mention, the front says, "I'll be your Valentine," and then on the inside I put, "Will you be mine?" So that's how I finished the verse on the sentiment on the card. Okay, the first thing you need to do is get the top of the owl cut. And I didn't have a large enough circle punch, so I used a canning jar, and I just laid it down corner to corner on the cardstock, and then we'll just cut that out. And I can just turn this over if any of my pencil shows. But like I said, if you have a circle punch large enough, just go ahead and cut it with a circle punch. I just didn't have one. Okay, there's the top of my owl. The next thing you need to do is you'll need 5 scallops per wing. So what I do is I start here and count 5 scallops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just kind of round it. You can finish it off and make it look real pretty so that all your cuts are even. And then I actually just turn this over for another 5 scallops, and I just traced my cut. That way my wings are exactly the same. Kind of hard to see pink on pink here. There. So I've got my 2 wings. And when you attach them, I just kind of went 1 scallop out on here. Before you start attaching, you'll also need to use your 1/2 inch corner rounder on the bottom of your owl. This is a corner chomper. I really like it. Like so. And that'll give you your rounded bottom on your owl. Now back to the wings. Now the wings I'm just putting on like this. Just kind of place them where you think you might want them. Like I said, I used 1 scallop out on the bottom. So I'll get some glue and attach those. I just put the glue in the wrong place. And I always work on paper so that if I end up with glue in the wrong place, I can wipe it off and not worry about my mat. There we go. Okay, now let's attach the other wing. I guess they're called wings on owls. Let me see here. That looks good. Okay, and then the next thing I did was I have 4 scallops here. I need 2 scallops for each foot. Just going to cut that and kind of round these because a little bit of that straight edge will show. Just trim them just a little. Okay, and then I'm just going to attach these on the bottom. There we go. Like so. Now for the oval, for his, I guess you'd call it his belly, I measured down 1 inch, but you don't have to measure. You could just cut like so, and but it's about 1 inch altogether. And then just glue that on, center it like so. Now for the eyes, you just need to layer your 3 circles, your light blue, and you want to center the white on the light blue. And I waited to do my black until I had the eyes attached so I could kind of decide where I wanted to put his pupils. And if you have a pair of tweezers, they work really good to hold things while you're gluing things together. And then I just kind of place the eyes kind of like so, and I did touch them in the middle and glue those on. I said this is a really easy owl to put together. That looks good. You can see how quickly it's going together. Like so. Now for the eyes, I'm just going to put just a dab of glue. Use my tweezers. I'm going to put them on the inside edges, but I'm going to put one a little higher and one a little lower, so he looks cross-eyed. Okay. There we go. My owl is pretty much done. Now let's get him on the tan background. And I placed him towards the top. And I'm going to use puff tape on him. Everything is not where it's supposed to be because the jar that I usually keep things in, like my scissors, I used to draw my owl, so now everything's all over my craft table. A couple pieces on the top part here, and we'll be ready to stick him down. I recently cut off all my fingernails because I broke a few, and I feel like I'm disabled. I've had nails for so long. And now I can't even get the backing off score tape or my foam tape because I feel a little disabled. There we go. Okay, so let's just center him like so. There we go. And he's on. Now I'm going to ink the edge of this, and then we'll finish our card. I forgot his little beak, so I took the 1/2-inch circle and cut it diagonally across, and I'm just going to put a little glue on there, take my tweezers, and just place it at the top in the center, just like that. Okay, I've got my sentiment, and I'm going to ink the top and bottom edges. I'm using Fired Brick. It's a Ranger Distress ink. And I'm just going to do the top and bottom edges because the ends are going to get cut. So we'll do those after we get those layers together. Now I'm just going to layer this on top of the pink. So that it's centered top to bottom. There we go. And I think I'll go ahead and ink this pink just a little bit too. Just slightly. That'll make it pop a little bit against that tan background. Okay. And then I'm going to apply my adhesive to the back of this. And I'm going to put it down at an angle on my card. I'm just going to tuck it slightly under his feet, like so. And then from the back, I'm going to trim off the 2 layers that are extra. That way you'll have a perfect fit. Like so. And now we'll get this onto the front of the card. Okay, I'm just lining him up here to make sure I know where I want to put him. And I'm just going to apply some adhesive around the edges and through the middle. And the front of our card will be done. And then I'm just going to take some white cardstock, print the inside sentiment, and then cut it after it's printed on my computer so it matches this sentiment here. Thanks for stopping by Jen's Creation Station. Have a great day.